Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. My name is Michael and I am the face and the person behind the camera that does all the reviews. I decided to show my face because, I don't know, it makes it more personal, I guess. Anyway, I decided to do a quick video about the Moonswatch. I was finally able to grab one of these. Actually, not only one, but as you will see soon, 2, 3 and 4 different Moonswatches. I want to show you what I think about it and give you my thoughts on that. So stay tuned and enjoy. This is the Moonswatch, a $250 watch made out of plastic that turned the watch world upside down. The collaboration between Swatch and Omega created so much hype, nobody could have expected that. Hundreds and thousands of people were queuing up on the release day just to grab one of these. But is this watch worth 250 bucks? Let's find out. First of all, what the hell actually happened? On the 26th of March 2022, Swatch and Omega decided to launch 11 different colors of the Moonswatch. This is a watch that took the iconic design elements of the Omega Speedmaster and combined it with Swatch's new bioceramic material. What you'll get is a watch that looks great and is being able to be mass-produced cheaply and quickly. Couple of days prior, some photos got leaked online and many people got really excited for these watches. After all, this was your chance of getting a watch that says Omega on the dial that does not cost you a ton of money. Now, I believe everyone knows what actually happened. Swatch severely underestimated the demand of these Moonswatches. There were hundreds of people queuing up, but only around 80 to 100 watches available for sale. So these fortunate people who were at the front of the line got their hands on one, while the others didn't. And that left a bitter taste in their mouths. As a result of that, these watches are being sold on the grey market at a premium, even now, 4 months later. Some people realize that this is a quick cash grab, so the resellers camp in front of the Swatch store to this day. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to grab one for myself on release day. I got really close though. There were like only 15 people in front of me when they announced that they're all gone. One important thing that soured the whole experience even further is the fact that Swatch announced that this is not a limited edition run and that these watches will be available online in the future. That is what gave all those people who waited for hours in line a little bit of hope. As some of you might know, that turned out not to be true. In a recent interview with Swatch's CEO Nick Hayek, he said that the Moonswatch will not be offered online. He said, quote, "There's no emotion in online buying. It's a carefully produced Swiss-made watch and not a commodity." After the whole world had to stay at home for 2 years because of COVID, it was about time to celebrate and bring the people back on the streets, meet together and revive the brick-and-mortar stores. I will link the interview in the video description down below so you could check it out on your own. 4 months later, the hype still didn't die down, but because of the whole fiasco, a lot of watch enthusiasts turned away from the collaboration, myself included. I almost lost interest in ever picking one up. Same goes for my friends and my family. They said something along the lines of, "At release day I would have bought them all. Now I don't even want a single one." That also seemed to be the reaction from a lot of watch fans online. But I am quite a stubborn person, so I wanted to give them one more chance. Now, I knew that you have slightly better chances in obtaining one if you live in Switzerland, because they have by far the most amount of Swatch stores that sell the Moonswatch. So I just happened to be invited to a friend's wedding that took place in Switzerland. We arrived in Basel on Friday morning. We head into the store and to our surprise they actually had some Moonswatches in stock. There was no line, just a couple of people in the store. But only 3 colorways were available: Saturn, Jupiter and Earth. My wife's first choice was always the Saturn, so she immediately went for it. And I really liked the interesting colors of the Earth variant, so I got that for myself. It is not my first choice, I have to admit. I would have wished for Mercury or Moon, but still, we were very happy to be able to grab 2 pieces. Yay! Back home in Vienna, literally 1 week later, I decided to check out our local Swatch store in the morning. And guess what? They also had some in stock, Pluto and Jupiter. And because I knew a bunch of people who want one, I went in and got the 2 models. Simple as that. And yeah, here we are. 4 Moonswatches that I managed to grab by dumb luck, I guess. For disclosure, I do not intend to sell these, they already belong to some of my friends and family. Now before I give them away though, I wanted to shoot a quick video to show you guys how the watch look like and what I think of them from a watch nerd's point of view. And I can already tell you that I am a huge fan of these. I do agree that the watch feels very plasticky and light, and some might say cheap, but I also think that it's just beautiful. The dial is really well made, the printing is sharp, it wears like a charm, and I am glad that I can experience all of that. So much that I actually have a hard time parting with these. And I also have to admit, I am lusting over the real Moonwatch even more than before, so the marketing strategy of the Swatch group did really work on me. Alright, so let's talk about the specifications and dimensions real quick. This watch has basically 1:1 proportions as the Omega Moonwatch. It has a 40mm bezel diameter, a 42mm case diameter, a total thickness of 13mm, a lug-to-lug length of 47mm, and a 20mm lug width. With the attached Velcro strap, this watch weighs at exactly 30 grams. With the dimensions out of the way, here's how the watch looks like on my 7-inch wrist. I believe that it wears really well, mainly due to the very nice and wearable lug-to-lug of 47mm. It actually wears slightly smaller than I thought. If you have smaller wrists than I do, this watch might wear a bit big, but despite the size, it is still very comfortable due to the weight of the watch. The Moonswatch features a domed acrylic crystal, and if you look carefully you can see that there is a small S laser engraved. That is what you should look for if you buy this watch on the grey market, by the way. Because there are already plenty of fakes being produced and they do not feature the laser engraved S on the crystal. Maybe some of you might have heard this already, but the glass scratches rather easily. Especially if you wear a hoodie or a jacket, you have to be extra careful if you don't want to scratch it. I did not scratch mine yet, but it is just a matter of time and it's bound to happen. The good part is the scratches can be easily buffed out with some polywash. Also, Swatch can do it for you in the store for free, I believe. Still, the crystal, although adding some nice distortions, is one of the biggest downsides of this model range in my opinion. Every Moonswatch comes with a matching Velcro strap. The color varies on each model. This strap is surprisingly comfortable and features the Omega and Swatch branding on each side. There's also the according mission printed on each end, which is a really nice touch if you ask me. Having 4 models here on my table means that I can compare these straps to each other, and I did find some minor differences between them. For instance, the strap of the Saturn and Earth model feel a bit softer to the touch, while the strap of the Jupiter and Pluto are more on the stiffer side. I do not know if this is only the case with my watches or if every strap of the Jupiter model is stiff like that. If you own one of these, please let me know in the comments down below, I would really like to know. The good thing is that these have a 20mm lug width, which means that the strap can be changed out easily. Inside this watch beats a quartz chronograph movement. There is not much information out there, but many believe it's a Swiss ETA caliber G10212. It is a very basic but reliable movement that is operated by a battery. The movement features of course a chronograph function. To operate it we simply have to push the upper pusher and the chronograph hand will tick away. We have 3 subdials here. On the upper left we have a 60-minute counter. On the upper right we have 1/10 of a second counter, which is kind of cool. And on the bottom we have the seconds hand constantly ticking away. When I got this watch I wondered how loud is the ticking noise. And I have to admit that the Moonswatch isn't really loud, but it's not quiet either. It's somewhere in the middle. If you sit in a room that is completely quiet, you will hear it. Also, my Timex QGMT, which is also quartz, is less noisy. I will hold it into the microphone, let's see if you can hear it. Each caseback of the Moonswatch series features artwork with the planet the watch is based on. The planet that you can see here is actually the battery cover, so instead of having to remove the entire caseback, only the small circle cover needs to be pried off to replace the battery. It is also worth mentioning that removing the caseback or any other part of the watch is not even possible. Many people were wondering if you could just open the watch, remove the dial and place it into a different case. Well, I have bad news for you because this is not possible without damaging the case and the crystal. That is because the watch casing is made out of one piece. It is one mold that they produce, then they place the movement from the front and then the crystal on top. So you cannot access the dial without removing the glass. And you can't remove the glass without breaking it. And breaking it could damage the dial in the process. As you can see, they clearly thought about that and manufactured these watches in a way that you cannot mod them that easily. Now, I want to share with you the 4 different Moonswatches that I have here. I will give you some close-up shots and some wrist shots as well. Let's start with the Jupiter. The Mission to Jupiter case has more of a sandy color if you ask me. I really like the orange accents that you can find on the watch. They go really well with this colorway. Personally, my least favorite of the bunch that I have here, simply because it just doesn't go that well with my skin tone. Next up is the Mission to Pluto. Initially one of my favorites of the entire release. I really like the dark red tachymeter scale and the subdials, and I am also a big fan of the black and white hands. The thing that I find a bit odd is the fact that the color of the dial does not match the color of the case. I think I would have preferred the grey dial instead of this light beige one. The strap of the Pluto is a mix of silver and dark grey. Overall, a really cool watch, but it's not for me. Let's continue with the Mission to Earth. I had my eyes on this from the beginning, to be honest. I really like the mix of the different shades of blue and green and the red chronograph hand. Now, that light green case might be a bit difficult to pull off, but I don't know, there's just something about that watch that makes me smile when I see it. The strap attached to it is a dark blue and kind of shiny. Yeah, it matches the watch really well. And last but not least, the Mission to Saturn. My favorite of the bunch, to be honest, also the favorite of my wife. The case color is more of a warm gray. It's not really brown like the Jupiter one, and it's not the same kind of cool gray that we saw on the Pluto. It's something in between. The second hand is dark green and the bottom subdial features a ring of Saturn. I believe that the strap is one of the nicest one in the entire collection. It is more like a metallic copper color and it feels really good. Here are all the different Moonswatches side by side. Of course, pictures don't do them justice, they look way better in real life than on camera. That said, I have to admit I am really surprised how much I actually like the Mission to Earth. To close this video out, I will swap out the strap of the Mission to Saturn and show you how it looks on 2 different leather straps. The first strap is a dark brown Horween leather strap with white stitching. I got it with one of my Zelos watches. I really like the look of the Moonswatch with the leather strap attached to it actually. The colors just go really well together in my opinion. The second strap is more like a suede nubuck leather in a lighter brown color. I think it also matches the watch really well. And probably my favorite out of them all is this ribbed NATO strap that I got here. This is just a perfect match if you ask me. I will leave a link in the description where I bought these straps from. So after owning the Moonswatch for around 3 weeks now, I am quite pleasantly surprised with the amount of watch you get. Sure, 250 euro is quite expensive considering the materials used here. Can you get a better watch for the money? Of course, there are plenty of good quality stainless steel automatic watches with sapphire crystals and ceramic bezel inserts and whatnot. But here you pay for the branding and for the whole experience. And honestly, I am fine with that, as long as you know what you're in for. After all, I see the Moonswatch as a cool, fun watch to enjoy, especially in the summertime. personally, I wouldn't go that far to collect them all. But if that's your thing, then go for it. I would totally understand that. In the end, I just want to emphasize that this is still a Swatch and you should expect Swatch quality and not Omega quality for the price. Despite that, I believe that these are beautiful timepieces. For those of you who are not as lucky as I am, please be patient. I know others have said it and I will say it again, do not pay over retail for these watches. They aren't worth it in my opinion. $250 is already a high price to ask for. But hey, I completely understand if you don't want to play the game and instead just pay over retail in order to save yourself the constant trip to your local Swatch store. That is, if you even have one nearby. Anyways guys, this marks the end of the video. Please tell me what you think about the release. Are you still looking to grab one? If so, which is your favorite Moonswatch? Please let me know in the comments down below. This is Michael and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers!